Alright, we are here. And Trends is over there doing the circuit inspection already, I see. He's a little worried. He might have to go back to hand circuiting today because of something he did and we didn't prepare for. But it'll be good to make sure everything's fine. Mm-hmm. I did see you have like 7 or 8 of the integrated in some of the centrals, so you might be okay. Mm-hmm. So the upgrade or the changes for this week, I guess, is this thing is no longer going to work because he added the laser cutter. So we can no longer cut our circuits in there. We have to use a laser cutter now, which I absolutely love because that still is, I believe in reality they use a saw blade to cut them, but it is like a really thin, really precise freaking saw blade. And I have no idea what it's made out of. It's not like a circular saw blade. This thing is weird compared to what you use for woodworking and things like that. So I'm okay. I like this better. So you're going to need a emitter. So he's going to need 2 good circuits for that. He needs the 2 good circuits out here, and then he needs 1 good circuit in the sensor, which the only thing I could see with changing this recipe, if we decided that maybe the laser didn't make sense, was to change it to use the sensor, but using the diamond saw, but then I would want to change the other saw to using a buzzsaw blade, because that's technically what it should be using. But I like this. I think this works out good for the gating of circuit, being able to automate your circuitry stuff. We took out the gating of having to go to the end and get Naquita and having to dump so much into the coils of the blast furnace to be able to do those buells, that requiring a different cutter and not being able to do it in the same buzzsaw you use for your logs, I think is good. Also, the fact that you have to have this thing, which is very time consuming, and the getting of the helium, which won't be so bad once we start doing air distillation, but for right now, having to get it out of monazite is taking forever. So I think I currently like the way the system's going. And if for some reason Trends had a, brain fart and decided he wanted to add the clean room, which I know he is completely against, and I'm glad he is. Or if somebody wanted to make an add-on and add a clean room, then there is a saw that should be in that clean room with the laser cutters, because everything from the time that after the buell is made until the circuits are ready to be put together should be done in a clean room. It's not just laser engraving should be done in there. All of that should be done in there. So, and even the assembly should be done in there, to be honest. I've seen them make circuits. It's a clean room. Or at least the machines are set up in a way that, dust and shit can't get into them. So that is the first change. The next one is he moved the fluid slot in the fluid smelter. So it's now up here, not down there. So that looks a hell of a lot better to me. And then he also removed nickel, zinc, ferrite tools because we discussed that last week. And the fact that they had tools was kind of dumb. Which that was only because of the way Greg had his automated system set up. Once a material was added, it automatically got everything made for it. So when it was added in GT5U, the tools were auto-generated. Now, I did ask him yesterday about these screws because they have no use whatsoever. So hopefully he will get rid of those as well. Because we do not need those either. The only thing we need is the bolt.
Oh yeah, screws. That for some reason I thought about the bolts.
No, the bolts are needed because that's for the small coil. But the screw is not needed. And those bolts are only used for the regular coil. It's not used for the SMD. So this material is only used for a very short time because I believe there's SMD coils, right? Or is it only the small coils? I can't remember.
I don't
know.
any other type of coil.
That is okay. That is the only coil. Okay, so never mind. I couldn't remember if there were SMD versions of that shit. I don't even know what SMD is, to be honest. Let's see. So then he added the GT rubber as a valid tree for the forestry multi-farm, which I've already tested. I took a look at this to make sure once he got the update out, and it absolutely does work. I do think his trees have an issue with clearance, because I don't believe anything close to this tower is going to grow. I don't think it's like vanilla trees where they can grow around it. So we're gonna have to. We may want to make this, if we decide to use this, we may want to make this like a managed farm instead of an auto farm. We may also want to see if we can do this like the orchard, and I don't know how you would go about that because in the orchard setting, it will pluck things off of the wood, not harvest it. Well, pluck it off the branches. So I don't know if it would be able to collect the rubber or not. But what we want out of this is the rubber logs, because we can centrifuge the rubber logs to get plant balls, to get carbon, sticky resin, wood pulp, and methane. Though he may want to go to the GT6 way of this, where you have to macerate the rubber log into dust, because it is kind of weird that you're centrifuging a log. I don't think spinning a log will do you fucking any good. I don't think the carbon is going to come out of there. That's something Greg did in GT6, where you couldn't centrifuge any solid materials. It either had to be dust or it had to be liquid. And I think that would probably be a good idea for that as well. He can look at that later. Let's see, what else was added recipe to make molten glass from sand and glass blocks. So we no longer have to put glass in there, we can put sand. And he did not do the forestry thing of if you're making. What the hell is actual sand? Suspicious sand? Why is sand way down here? Forestry actually, if you put it into the thermofabricator, it actually takes more heat to do the glass than what it does for if you put glass in it, which doesn't really make sense because if it's smelting it into glass, I don't think you need more. You need to make molten glass. I don't know that sand has a higher threshold before it becomes molten
Yeah,
glass
that's
than
how
what.
glass is made. Is they melt sand or whatever and,
Right, but
and cast
I'm
it
I'm
or
thinking
form it.
like alumnia. Alumnia has a higher melting point than what aluminum does by like a ton. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
sand has that. I don't think sand has the whole. It has to go 1,000 degrees higher than molten glass to become molten glass. I believe it's just straight. You heat it to molten level and it turns to glass. And if you did glass, it would be the same. I don't think so. I haven't researched it, and I honestly don't care enough to. The realism is not that necessary that I give a shit for that. It's believable that you melt sand straight into glass, and that recipe is just fine as is. So to actually look at the recipe we're talking about, electric furnace, smelter. There it is. Sand, molten glass, done. Because I actually looked at that because I'm used to the forestry way of doing it. I actually looked at it when I seen it, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the same recipe, or the same temperature. Shouldn't we make it a longer time to do it? Because then you're able to bypass the furnace. Shouldn't it cost you the two? And I was like, no, wait a minute, you're just being stupid. You're heating it up in both processes. One, making it into a glass block, which, if this was GT6, Greg would end up taking the glass out of the fucking furnace and making you mold the damn thing, which he wouldn't because he didn't. But that's just what if it was GT5, that's what Greg would have done because he was going to that type of thing. If you noticed, there were molds for all kinds of things. He was trying to do GT6 in GT5 and going to the fluid extractor for like everything and putting molds for everything. I believe he was getting rid of the furnace for anything that wasn't needed very early game, and glass wouldn't have been. So he may have chose to get rid of glass in the furnace and made you use the solidifier. Now, I don't think we should do that. It's not what I'm going for. But there's no reason that glass should be done at any different temperature in here than what it's done in here. Because if you chose to do the solidifying, you have to pay for that too. So it would actually be harder for you to do it that way than just to do it this way. And again, I don't think there's a higher threshold for sand to glass than there is glass to glass. I hope that sentence made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that rant over. Then he added recipe for forestry casings to the assembler, and I checked. They are all in here except for one, which we discussed, which is the stupid flexible casing, which is only used for the old farms that barely anybody uses. And they're weird recipes, anyways, that aren't in the carpenter, so I don't believe moving this to an assembler makes as much sense. I doubt anybody's going to use it. Very few people use those managed farms in 1.7.10. I'm pretty sure even less are going to be using them in 1.20. But this recipe could be put in an assembler because it's just using liquid glass. But I don't think we need to do it. You can automate this one now with 8 ingots in an assembler. If anybody cares to do automating of those, the hardened one that was in the carpenter with water can now be done in the assembler as well with water. And the impregnated, the most important one in my book, can now be done in the assembler with seed oil, so we do not need to make a carpenter. I hate the carpenter. Anything I can do to not need to make that thing, I will do so. Okay, so with all of your discovering of circuitry, what do we need to do to get this cutter made?
Done.
Okay, so you do have the circuits. So I will get you some electrum rods and the nether quartz. So you need 2, 4, 5 electrum rods, 2 nether quartz, and 4 aluminum plates. I'll start working on that. Oh, okay. Well, I'll work on the aluminum, the electrum rods, and the quartz.
Also the quartz.
Well, fuck you then. I'll get your electrum rods. Let's see if I want to help you anymore, dickhead. We probably should leave some electrum up here as much as we use that shit.
Oh, by the way, speaking of GT6, did you see all that crap that was going on in general?
I've seen you guys discussing it, and I'm ignoring it because I do not give a shit. It's fucking 26. I'm done in 20.
And also, it's like, it was just completely AI generated. They didn't even actually make any effort.
I was wondering if that's what he meant, was that it was AI because he said agent. Because
he told an AI to basically told an AI to port GT6. Just like what he did.
Ah, okay. Because when he said agent, I was thinking back to Alex paying people to do it. I'm gonna go get the diamond lens, or do you already have that too?
No.
Okay. Well, fuck you. I'll get your diamond lens. And I agree with you. The fact that it's in 26 makes no fucking sense, because what fucking mods are in 26 that anybody's going to play with? But yeah, I just chose to ignore that whole thing and just keep my nose out of that argument, because yeah, I ain't touching that crap. I could care less.
Mm-hmm.
For multiple reasons. One, the fact that it's AI generated, and I don't want to see what kind of mess AI is going to make of Greg's code.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing wrong? I need water.
It can be good, but you have to actually know what it's doing.
Right.
Fully experienced.
Yeah, like XAR uses AI for helping him with a lot of the coding work he does. But he knows how to write the code. He's a professional when it comes to writing that code, because he's
Mhm.
been he's been writing that code for that stuff forever. So he knows exactly how it has to be. He's just having the AI save him time by him not having to rewrite it or it looking for errors that might have existed and then him being able to tweak it or, give them a command to fix what he sees, and he can see if there's any hallucination in it. Because if you watch any of the anything about law and court trials, there has been so many lawyers that have tried to use AI to write court cases or briefs for them, and they are getting sanctioned so hard because the lawyers are being lazy and not them themselves or somebody else that knows the actual law is not going back and proofreading the AI to make sure shit's right. And the AI is literally making up cases. They're citing the cases that never happened. And then it gets to the court, and the court goes and has, a legal secretary look this up, and they're like, we can't find this case. And, the other side gets it, and they try to go check the citation, and they're like, yeah, this doesn't work. And you're so much better off if the court catches it than if the other side ends up catching it and reports it to the court. Because the court's like, you're not just wasting our time, but you wasted their time inciting to a case that doesn't exist. And they just have been sending down sanctions left and right all over the US and Canada for stupid lawyers doing stupid shit like that. It's like, I understand how the temptation is there to use something like this, but it's a tool. It's just like a gun, it's just like a hammer. In the wrong hands, it can do terrible things, and the person using it needs to know how it's fucking used properly. And you can't get lazy, you can't get complacent about it. Use it properly and know what you're doing. Fucking people just want to be lazy. I swear. Fucking hell, it takes forever to cut a damn diamond.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think it was like the hardest material known to man or something. That like the only thing that can cut it is itself.
I mean, well, yeah.
Shut up. I know. Holy shit, 384 seconds. Glad we don't have to do this very often. Or didn't I say that last time and now I'm doing it again? Pretty sure I said that last time we had to do this. Why am I carrying a bronze rod around in my, or brass rod around in my inventory? Also, what was I making? Yeah, I was making the tree growth simulator. Why didn't I make the black bronze casing? Are we... Oh, we need more copper. I was waiting for the ore processing to get done. Which hopefully we can work on some more today. Once we get this thing done. So, is there anything other than this lens that you're needing? I'm assuming you have your hull made?
Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm working on the hull right now.
Okay. And I know you have the fucking glass, because this chest is full of freaking glass. because I think that's supposed to be our roof that never got done for our second floor that never got done, which we may want to work on that second floor soon, because we should probably do the ore processing up here, because you know I end up stretching that shit out for 100 million miles. So we can put it down here. I'm not against it. We'll just have to use like this side of the factory. All right.
It's gonna need a lot of blocks.
Yes. And what are we using? Basalt?
Basalt for the walls, marble for the ceiling, and marble for the floor, and
we got 300 marble. That should be enough for what's not glass. Basalt, we're almost out of.
Marble for the floor, not the ceiling.
Oh, because you're gonna do a pipe floor in between, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the basalt, we have like none. We could go to like slate. We got tons of that. Or we could do deep slate brick, since nothing's gonna be. It doesn't have to be spawn proof. We could go to deep slate brick and put that. For the second floor, we'd have a two-tone factory, but does that really matter? I'm trying to think of what all's in basalt that... oh, I did a bunch of basalt the other day when I was doing... chromium. When I was doing the chromite, I just left it over there. So I can go back and work on that chromite because we're going to be needing it more and more. So I can go work on that. There's your diamond lens. So as soon as you have the hull and the two cables, which I'm assuming are not hard for you to get done now, we will have our saw done. Just plop her right up there. Stick it in my inventory and I'll plop her up there. Alright, so there's your laser cutter. And now we can, you can keep working on getting us our data sticks. And I will go work on getting us more of that chromite. So you have the basalt to do your walls with. And then I think we're going to be down to a lot of mining, so maybe I can do some nighttime mining stuff. Because, well, what's it going to take for me to get the titanium? So I can get my fucking hammer. Titanium. What is the major holdup of me getting titanium? Not the autoclave, the bath. That's easy. We have the stainless. We need magnesium, which I believe we have. If not, I can pull some out of my ass from somewhere. And then we need a chemical reactor at HV, which we have, with ilmenite and carbon or rutile and carbon. I have lots of rutile from bauxite processing, with molten calcite and chlorine, and we have chlorine readily available. And that's going to give us the ferric chloride and the titanium chloride, or just give us straight titanium chloride. So an HV chemical reactor is like the only thing holding us up from getting to titanium. So you might want to put that on your list of what to work on after the data. And then we can get that put together. And then I can get my hammer, my jackhammer, so I can save my effort a little bit. And then we still need to look at a name for that fucking alloy and get that alloy added, which we should make that alloy probably HV in the blast furnace. We want to put it in the blast furnace because it's got effort in it. But I'm thinking just for gating purposes, put it in the HV. The only issue I have with this is steel leaf is not renewable, as in there's not a way of just going and mining it. It's very limited on how much of it you get. So we may want to make it to where it's more on the Ephron and less on the steel leaf. That way it can go a little bit longer. Though as long as you make it to where you can get steel leaf out of the things, armor, twilight armor. Well, actually, I say it's not. No, wait a minute. That's not steel leaf. That's the armor shards. Do those still exist? Yes. And these become an armor shard cluster, which goes into night metal. And I don't think you have a thing for... I don't even think you have a use for night metal, honestly. So that really wouldn't be... let's see. Steel.
Which, by the way, barrels. I was just thinking, one problem with this is it requires you to have twilight loaded.
It does require you to have the twilight board. You're right. But using amber doesn't make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because amber's the only level 3 thing we have. Or not amber, sorry, jade. Jade is fortune 3. Fluix is 1. Vibranium is post fusion. So that's really the only thing we have, unless we do. We could do like Ephron mixed with something else, and just because it is alloyed, I'm thinking something weird like red steel to make red steel, make it really a pain in the ass, because then you have to go through all the stages to get to red steel, and red steel basically becomes useless once you get to needing tier 3 and tier 4, unless you tier up the drill that you use it in. It is only a tier 2 material, but if you mix it with Ephron, then you could make it a tier 3 material because of the tier 3 material that Ephron is. But what are we doing? How are we getting the extra fortune is the issue. Are we just using 2 ingots of Ephron and its? What reason will we have to be able to pull an extra fortune out of its ass, basically, is what I'm saying. I don't know that there is a reason for that.
I might look at New Horizons, see what kind of bullshit yes materials they have, and see if there's anything I can use.
Yeah. We could always, add something if it came down to it. Because sadly, there is a miss there, a gap there, that Greg wanted Jade to do, but with how limited Jade is, and maybe it's just you don't get fucking Fortune 3. But to me, that just means use vanilla diamond tools and mending so you can get it. If I'm thinking in the way of somebody like Junior, somebody that's bullheaded as fuck, and yes, I am as well. Shut up. I know he gets it honestly. But I am okay with dealing with the Greg Tech way of doing things. There's so many ores out here that not having Fortune 3 doesn't hurt me that much. That I don't even remember what Fortune 3 does over Fortune 2. I don't remember how much more I would be getting. And remember, if I'm remembering correctly, the miner does Fortune 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which we don't actually say in there that it does that. We may want it to say that. But I'm pretty sure that the miner, we calculated it for Fortune 3. So automating it was better than hand mining if you had the Ephron. Now, me being the, bullheaded fuck that I am, I like to do my hand mining. I don't like to use the automated mining because I enjoy mining. This gives me a time to think about things and go over shit. And, since I do it while I'm streaming, it gives me a time to, talk to chat, because for some reason, every time I make a mining and music stream, everybody decides, oh, look, Bear's doing mining and music. It's time to go ask him 1,000 fucking questions. Because he wants to sit and have mining and music, which means we need to annoy the ever-living fuck out of him. And he has to turn off the music because he's talking, and they're assholes like that.
Be right back.
Yeah. Can I pick up everything I dropped? No. Why do I have so much shit in my inventory? Because I didn't drop anything off before I left. I don't need all of this in my inventory currently. I need to use this and just get rid of it. It has literally 6 freaking hits left on it. There's no reason I'm still carrying that damn thing around. Thank you. There, it's gone. No idea why I've been carrying around a fucking pickaxe this long that I'm not using. Now we don't really have to worry about that corner, because that corner is amethyst. I have to look on the other side of it eventually and see if there's anything over there that's gonna... Damn it, I need to stop with this fucking drill. I need that jackhammer. Just thinking of something. We have Ender IO. Why doesn't that exist? It's not gonna... He's not gonna like it. Because it's... Well, he could add it as his own material, though. And I don't really... Hey, I just thought of something. GT6 does have one other Fortune 2 material. Greg added his own recipe for Solarium, which for some reason he decided got Fortune 2. I have no idea why he thought Solarium was a good idea of a material to add, since it's made out of fucking soul sand and gold. But it was a very low quality material that mined very fast because it was gold and had Fortune 2. Because I remember now looking back at what gave Fortune in GT6, and when I decided that personally for me, Ephron was the better choice because it was higher durability, there were a few people that argued with me that Solarium was better, even though they had to make more of it because it was faster. They could get done. These are people that don't like mining. So the quicker they could get done, because I had people on the server, the GT6 server, that would go for black bronze over steel or anything else because it was faster. They didn't care about the durability of shit, they cared about the speed of shit, which is the exact opposite of how I think of things. So you could add your own version of Solarium And we could use that with Ephron. But I still say if we're going to do that, we use something like red or blue steel to mix with it so it has some durability. Because Ephron has lower, if I remember correctly, or is it high? Ephron's durability is 500. So, okay, so it's not bad. But if you put it against red steel, its durability is 1,000. So double that. So if you're adding the two of them to guess Ephron and Solarium together, if we're going with the Minecraft bullshit of Fortune 2 plus Fortune 2 equals Fortune 3, then you would be lowering Ephron's overall durability from 500 to like 4 or 3, depending on the ratio of Ephron and Solarium. Because I'm thinking like 1 to 1 is how you would do it. So then the durability would get cut, would be somewhere averaged in between the two of them. And I don't remember what Solarium was in GT6. I'm assuming you would just go and grab all of the quality, speed, and tier shit off of there. And I don't remember what tier Solarium was either. So I'm just thinking we need something as a base to it that would give it a little more oomph. Also to make the alloy just a little more interesting than two things. And I like the idea of being able to use red steel being more useful past tier 2. I like the long pain in the ass path of making red and blue steel. And we could use blue steel instead of red steel as well, because since blue steel has a lower durability, it doesn't get as much use. But with it needing bismuth bronze, that makes it a little more difficult to justify making, because bismuth doesn't come in a vein. We have to get it from the mountains in singles, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. Now, Greg added a tungsten that gave bismuth as a byproduct. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but there was a tungsten ore. But I don't think you want to add all the different tungsten ores that Greg added. He added a bunch of them that I don't know you want to go and mess around with.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think just use red steel, to be honest. Or if you know you want to make if you want to make it a little more rare, a little bit harder to get your hands on, you use the blue steel. Because then you're required to get it. We could also just not use fucking steel. We could use titanium or tungsten. Depends on how you want to gate this. How long do you want to keep people using Ephron for their tier, for their and only getting Fortune 2? Do you want to give them another reason to rush towards getting titanium? Or do you want to put it off so far that they ain't getting it until fucking tungsten processing? I personally think tungsten and titanium have enough bullshit when you get up into those tiers, because you need them for casings and like everything. It starts becoming all tungsten and titanium, and steel has almost no use. And so I kind of like the idea that steel would still be a viable tool material, just, you know, given a little bit more mixed with something else to make it a little better. And then again, most people that like to automate their mining won't even fucking use it because they can automate it with the drill. Where I'm only going to use that drill for things like tungsten and probably platinum. I'll only use it for the stuff that I really care about the bonus. Everything else, the veins are so big, I really don't care. And I like my mining.
Oh, I have the 86 done.
All 4? We need 4.
I got 4 done.
Okay. Then get us a super buffer.
What tier can we make?
The super buffer is going to be going into the packager, and we're going to run an LV packager, so just make an LV.
Okay.
Because then if we want to just power the buffer, we can send the power into the packager from the buffer and not have to worry about anything. Yeah, there should be more over there, but I ain't seen any more at the moment, so. Roughly how much basalt do you think you're gonna need for the upstairs? Can you do some quick mathing? Basically, I have like 1,600 right now.
I don't think that's gonna be enough.
I didn't think so. Ah, the vein's going down right there. That's why we're not seeing any. Okay. So basically right there is where we're going to stop on that level. I'm thinking since we're gonna put the ore processing upstairs again, and we need to get that building done, I'll stay here and finish mining out a bunch of this vein to get you a bunch more building material. And then I can go over what we're going to need for that ore processing line. While I'm doing it, you can make sure we have everything we need. And then next time we can focus on getting it built. The floor and we can go ahead and I'll bring the basalt home and start getting it smelted. If you want to grab the marble and get it started smelting, just take out the chest and put the whole fucking barrel in there. Should be able to turn the... There's a... is there a hopper? No, there's not a hopper on that. We could put another barrel in the floor. Change the output of the furnace to go down. And you wouldn't have to worry about filling that furnace with just marble and having to move it out of there. Or you could take a minute before you go messing with that when you get the super buffer done and get us this stuff to make the multi-smelter. You want to do that? Now I can come back and build the multi-smelter. And then we can use that to get everything cooked up. Yeah, we're just gonna throw this in here. Yeah, I don't think those are going to stay in those. Not getting enough of it on this level to matter. We've done this. We haven't even done this level yet. What the fuck am I doing? Layer, not level, retard. What the hell is that? Gold? I need that. Give me that. The more that I have, the less of it I gotta go get for this damn tree growth simulator. I still hate that name. I might also be thinking too cheap and simple on this, because I do that quite often. We could also put like some fucking osmium in it. Or iridium in it. In that alloy. Because iridium is quality 4 and durability of 5120. So if we wanted to raise its fucking just so you know, the way my brain is thinking on this was, how do you get the tungsten E, G, and H things? How do they get more durability above even being tungsten? And I was thinking, wait a minute, the S one uses like fucking iridium or osmium or something, which is why I never use it. Plus, its durability is actually lower, which is weird. Than the other ones. And that would make it more, that would give it quality 4, which would mean it would be really good material. And then we could make it, 520, 5120 for the durability of iridium. You add one of those into it. I'm still stuck on the fact that I want to use steel as the base, though. I still don't like how useless steel becomes once you get titanium and tungsten, and how much you need titanium and tungsten for progression, and where I think steel would still be good for tools instead of having to use, and this would give you away if you use, say, 3 of one of the steels. Again, I'm a big fan of the red steel. But if we're putting iridium in it to raise its durability, it wouldn't really have to be the red steel. We could do one of the other ones. We could even just use regular steel. But I still think to maximize its usefulness, put 1 iridium, 1 ephron, 1 solarium, and say 3 to 5 red steel in it would give us a nice Fortune 3. Now, the only thing is, as of current, gold, titanium, which you added, is 5120 durability tier 4. And that is one of the best tool materials with no bonus bullshit. It has no bonus on anything. And it's also fast. It's 12. So that is your good base. Like, that's what you would use on the jackhammer. Even though the 12 doesn't matter on the jackhammer, because that bitch is fast as fuck anyways. But that would be what you'd use on your jackhammer for not needing any bonus bullshit. So I'm thinking you wouldn't want the fortune material to be as high or higher than that. So I'm thinking like 4,000-ish, somewhere in there. Maybe even in the 3,000s would be good for its durability, because you're not using it all the time. You're using the jackhammer most of the time. So its durability doesn't need to be out of this world. Do I have anything left to make? Yeah. So maybe that's the way we go with it. And then we could get away with naming it something completely off the wall, because it isn't ephron mixed with one other thing. It's mixed with 3 other things. So then the name of the alloy could be we could even go with something like HFS, high fortune steel, to go off of the high strength steel thing, because we're not going for high strength, we're going for high fortune. We could call it something like that. Or, something along those lines. And that would give you more reason to get into the platinum group sludge thing sooner to get the iridium that you need for it, because it's got iridium in it. That gets it to where you need to have gives more reason for it to have HV to cook it, and it would have to have a hot ingot, so it would put it behind the vacuum freezer, so that would gate it more, because you got to do the vacuum freezer thing. I think the putting iridium into it is really good. I think this gives you a good goal to work towards. Isn't as high off as vibranium, where you got to be, post fusion for it. So it's literally useless for progression. Which is one thing that I really hate with balancing of things. Because it seems like a lot of times things are balanced in a way that by the time you get them, you don't really need them. And I think it would still have a lot of use there. And I was also it just popped in my head. Weird way my head thinks. We could actually do something like that for the mining drill. Something that wasn't done in GT5U, but we could do, is the material that you actually have to put a drill bit in the fucking controller. And that determines the level of fortune you get. Because the miner doesn't actually have any drill bits on it. And if you think about it, the bedrock miner does. The bedrock miner is actually built with the bedrock drill heads that need fucking tungsten steel drill bits. 2 of them per fucking block. So why wouldn't we have that extra little slot up there in the top. We could actually put that in there, and then whatever drill bit you have in that slot determines, I don't know if this is something you want to code, determines the recipe, like if it gets fortune or not. You could even do if it's faster, you can get a bonus versus the speed of it. If you use something like Amber Tip, you can get Silk Touch and it doesn't do the crushing. I don't know why you would want to do that, but it would give you that option. Maybe there's some reason that you would want to Silk Touch your fucking ores that I don't think of right now. But that could also be an option. I swear, Trins is going to send me a fucking prescription bottle of tranquilizers and go, here, would you just take this and turn your brain off for a little while? So much shit, and I'm the one that ends up having to code it. That's why we have those stupid bear idea videos that I don't release to everybody. I only give to you. Because then you get to see it and go, yeah, he's just off on a fucking tangent again. We'll just file this away and go fuck yourself, bear, and he'll forget in a week that he ever thought of it. Speaking of, I still want the bronze blast furnace thingy. At some point we gotta work on that. At some point I need to get things automated enough that I don't need you here to help me building shit. Speaking of, I also had another idea for that too. Which was a different take for the assembly line than what we already have. Which is that we could put machines in it. I was thinking for the wire mill thing, add a recipe for rods to do it like Greg does in GT6, and if you use rods, the recipe's faster than if you do it from an ingot. But then making it to where the assembly line, you could put a extruder or a lathe, and then 2 wire mills, and then it would just pop out. You would put the ingot in one end, and out the other end would come fine wire. Because fine wire takes so much time to make. I don't like the idea that New Horizons had of making a wire mill multi-block. I hate that idea. But having 2 of them back to back that are dedicated to making fine wire makes perfect sense. And then making them into rods first, because that's kind of how you do a wire mill, is you shove stock through. You wouldn't use an extruder or a lathe. Let me make this clear. You would start with round stock, and then you would heat it up and extrude it through. Smaller and smaller dies is how this is done, which makes it longer and longer because it's just pushing that material back further and further. But because we have one length, 1 meter length is like the maximum we have for stuff in this. We don't have big rolls of coiled steel in rod shape. We have rods. We have ingots. Everything here works off of ingots. So we would have to use rods unless we fundamentally change the way this works and we started doing something like the I can't remember which mod it was in Factorio that did it, but there was one mod in Factorio that added this big ass fucking smelter and casting machine, and it cast coils of iron and copper, and then cut those coils into plates. And unless we did something, which would have to be a fucking multi-block, similar to that, where we output coils of something and then ran that through a wire mill that would then turn it into, which that part we would need a multi-block wire mill for, because then it would be doing an entire fucking coil of wire that would then have to be put through a cutter that would cut it to the length that we need it. But I think that would be too much of a change for Minecraft, because of the fact that then you would have the question, well, why can't I use... You would have the IE question, the immersive engineering question of, well, why then can't I coat said coil of wire and place the entire wire at one time rather than building it as a block at a time wire on the floor? And I don't think that's a question we want to answer. I don't think we want to change shit that dramatically. So I don't think that would be a way we'd want to go. So I think the rod thing would be a better option. There must be a... This must be one of those, yeah, this is a lush cave. Because there's a fuck ton of clay here. Which I want to see if the actual lush shit is here, or if it's only the fucking clay. Because I haven't seen a lush biome yet. Is there actually lush shit around here somewhere? Like, where's all the water and those weird fishy things?
Oh, by the way, Bear, I know I got the super weapon done.
Okay. So do you think we should do the smelter since we're having to smelt so much shit?
Yeah, I'm working on that now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still thinking you might want to go do some world stripping. Because I'm pretty sure you fuck over lush biomes. I've never seen a lush biome like this where there's no water. Is this possible? Or it's just clay and stone?
You know, are you in the lush cave biome?
Yeah. It literally says lush cave biome, and all I'm getting is clay and stone. There's no air, there's no water, there's none of the plant things. It's just a fuck ton of clay in the rock. You'd think at least the air blocks would be here. And the water. But instead I've got the next rock layer above this. Now it does go up here, so let's... Does your layers keep with seeds?
Shouldn't. All I do is place stones with my stone, then When you're in is currently deep slate, so just vanilla stone.
Yeah, but look at the biome.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I don't think it's me. Only because I don't think it's me.
Okay. Just I've never seen this. I'm stupefied by the fact that I found a lush biome with no water and no plants. What about 3,000? Is 3,000 basalt going to be close enough? Now, see, there's a huge fuck off cave up there. But I'm wondering if this is just part of the ravine. I'm really thinking, Hey, I'm about out of power. I need to get an HV battery. Though an HV battery isn't going to do any good, dumbass. You don't have HV tools. I need a better MV battery. Yeah, it's not working. Fucking stupid Britannia crap. Fuck off. Nobody cares about you. By the way, I'm gonna have to make a fucking another GT5R pack. Just something I'm gonna have to do. But we have so much bloaty crap in here that is not fucking needed for normal GT5R shit. Now see, this has got water, but this is considered beach and jungle. This is outside of our lush cave area. Yeah, this is just a fucking ravine.
I think I might want to go over there and go and spectate and see what's going on over there.
Yeah. That's why I was asking if seed if your biomes and rock layers would stay the same via seed, you could grab the seed off the server. And as long as you're the one doing it, since you don't do any of the mining, it wouldn't be an issue for you to go into spectator mode, creative mode, whatever, do a bunch of world stripping on this world. I wouldn't be the one doing it, and you're not going to go telling me where fucking veins are, and I wouldn't listen if you tried to tell me. I wouldn't do it because that's fucking cheating. But since you're not the one that does the mining, it's not fucking cheating. But I don't. But yeah, I forgot about the whole spectator thing where you could just come over here and spectate through everything and see. You wouldn't have to do it on a separate world. I'm old, man. I still think of things back in 1.7.10 ways. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm bringing this shit home soon. Because we're
You mean
at almost
waypoint
1,000.
to your line
Yeah.
there?
Yeah. We are at this one here. And that marker is right up on the surface on the beach. And there's a big fucking staircase through the sand. So it'll be easy for you to just go into fucking spectator mode, whatever, teleport your ass over here, and then just go straight down. It'll put you right in the vein where I'm at.
Mm.
You're gonna do this when we get done with. I'm not gonna have some ghost friends over here poking around my vein, right? While I'm trying to mine.
I'm trying to make a multi-smelter right now, so
Good. Keep him busy and preoccupied with other shit. We can do this tomorrow. While I'm actually building the fucking multi-smelter. And yes, there will be some fucking groaning from now, every now and then. Thunderstorms are coming in. We're supposed to have 2 of them this week. Oh, I was watching Zycor the other day. I just noticed that that's going down on that corner. I was watching Zycor do his GT5R stream the other day, and I figured out what his issue is with the fucking mushrooms. And no, I don't think you should mess with it. His dumbass is building in a mega taiga. And I didn't know that mushrooms had the ability to go from outside to inside, which would be the only thing that maybe you might want to. But his dumbass doesn't have any walls either. So I don't think that even if you had a thing that the mushrooms couldn't go through a block to spread, I don't think it'd do any good anyways. Because he just has one of those, I have to have a roof, so I'm just going to build a roof and a floor, and it's going to be all open fucking air on the sides. And then he's
long base.
So then he has mushrooms that are growing on his floor because they're spreading from the biome. I don't know if you ever seen the base that XAR built on the GT6 server, but it's basically the same one. It's building within the parameters of what Greg requires without anything extra. And now Zycor's, going off in my chat about his base, and I don't really care. To me, it's exactly what it looks like. Looks like you did the bare minimum you possibly had to get away with. It looks like a minimalist base. No fucking walls. Well, he's also using the whole mechanic of mobs can't walk over a block and a half tall, and walls, Minecraft walls, are a block and a half tall. So rather than building an entire wall, I'm just going to put walls around my floor, because then the mobs can't walk into the factory because they can't step up a block and a half wall. So he has walls next to floor. Not on top of, next to. So he built a floor like this, and then just surrounded it with walls out here, rather than on top of the fucking floor, like a normal human being. Fucking weird. And he wonders why every little thing he does irritates the shit out of me. Because he does really irritating shit. Like that. And he wonders why fucking Dan comes in and is like, what the fuck kind of weird ass motherfucker builds like this? Not exactly in those words, because Dan's a little nicer than I am. A whole lot nicer than I am. But that's exactly what I thought when I seen it. Like, who the fuck builds like this? A minimalist jackass builds like this.
By walls, Barry, you mean like those walls that you make, like stone or stuff?
Stone walls, fences. Fences. He has stone wall fences around the base so that mobs can't walk up into his factory. That's not true. I do have walls on the ground level. You have walls on the outside of the floor because you didn't even dig up the floor to put the floor at ground level. You built the floor on top of the ground and then put the walls around the fucking floor. You motherfucker. And it's not a mega taiga, it's an old pine. Same fucking thing. Suck a dick. A mega taiga and a fucking whatever the hell an old pine forest is where you get the 2x2 spruce growing, and it has mushrooms everywhere. It's the same biome, just a different name because somebody's retarded. Not going off in your chat, I'm correcting you. I do have walls on the ground level. Yes, you have walls on the ground beside the floor. You don't have actual walls like buildings have. This is a factory. Factories have walls. It's not true. You're wrong. Okay, somebody go watch his fucking stream. Go back and look at it on the fucking playback if he has them saved. Or next time he goes live, somebody else go and watch. And tell me that I'm fucking lying about the way that shit looks. And him not change it before next time he fucking streams. Tell me that's not how it fucking looks. Because I'll tell you, that's exactly how it looks. I ain't here to fucking tell fucking tales out of school. I fucking tell you exactly what I seen. And that's what I seen. He has a ladder on the outside to get up to the second floor.
Hello, motherfucker.
What stupid shit are you chopping tonight so you grace us with your presence for 5 minutes? Nothing. Okay. Had leftovers. Yeah, you'd had leftovers if I was there to eat that shit, because I wouldn't have ate much of it either. Weird ass woman. Make weird ass shit. Made a big pot. Swear her eyes are gonna start slanting. She's gonna turn fucking Asian. The weird ass shit she eats. Just put a picture of the ground floor in GT5 dev channel. Okay. Let me go look at this motherfucker and make sure it's accurate to the way it was last time you were fucking live. Next you're gonna say well, you fucking live close enough. Might. No. Yeah. Look at the outside. See the walls? These walls here didn't fucking exist last time. He did not have walls around the first floor. That was not there last time. See this wall shit on the outside? This was on the lower end. He has built that since then. Not making... Huh? What the hell is Bieria? You notice he just proved who he is. He just used Laz's account to say, yes, I did, when he's supposed to be saying it as Zykor. So, he just proved that he is both of them. Fucking told you guys how many months ago? Bear's always fucking right. Rule number 1, motherfuckers. Rule number fucking 1. Bear is always fucking right. Oh, now Crazy will say yep. Whenever I use rule 1 with her, it's shut the fuck up, Bear. Kiss my ass, Bear. But when it works for somebody else, she's all in on that. Women and their double standards, I'm telling you. You can hate that rule all you want. More often than not, it is correct, though. I need to figure out where I need to stop on this wall. Because I know down here at this end, it's dropping. Somewhere around there. Popular Mexican dish made with slow-cooked, shredded meat. The meat is braised in a rich chili and spice broth, folded into corn tortillas and melted cheese, pan-fried until crisp, served with a side of cooked broth from the drippings. Okay, first off, fuck you, that is way more work than making a taco. Second of all, don't give that fucking recipe to Junior. You are not having my asshole fucking bleed from this motherfucker making spicy shit like that. No. Fuck you. No. Don't show that to Junior. He is not allowed spicy shit. We have the most blandest fucking Americanized tacos, burritos, and nachos you've ever fucking seen. Because I taught him to make them. And I hate fucking spicy shit. There's no bell peppers in our shit. There's no fucking onions in our shit. I'm telling you, today I fucking die, Junior is going to have is going to make some authentic fucking Mexican tacos or nachos with fucking all the onions and green peppers and jalapenos that he can fucking find. You're not going to be able to taste the meat for all the fucking nasty ass shit that he shoves in there. Because he's been stuck dealing with my no spice tolerant ass his whole life. I hate
peppers spicy. That's confusing them.
I don't like the taste of green peppers. It's not not spicy. It's just the taste. I hate the taste of that shit. And I hate the taste of fucking onions. to me, onions, cooked green peppers turn into rubber and lose 90% of their taste. Why waste the fucking time? I don't want rubbery food. Eating them raw tastes like shit. I hate the fucking taste of it. Onions do the exact same thing, except they transfer that nasty fucking taste into every fucking other part of the damn meal. And I hate fucking onions. Onions are abomination that got buried by God years ago and should have been fucking left there. We should have never dug those nasty motherfuckers up. Same with fucking turnips. God made the things, he buried the things, and we had to dig them up and try to fucking slow cook the sons of bitches for 40 fucking hours to make them edible.
Yeah, I can understand turnips. They're not exactly, you know, a great taste.
It's like a fucking rock with shit taste, and everybody wants to eat the damn things.
The vegetable I really hate are those, we call them the, radishes, that's what I hate. Those are vegetables I really hate.
My grandfather used to sit around and eat those motherfuckers raw. Like they were candy. My grandma would go to the fucking store and buy a bag of them like you would buy a bag of apples. And he would sit there and just eat the motherfuckers raw. One day when I was a kid, I seen him eating it. I thought it was a little fucking apple because it was red on the outside. And I was like, ooh, Grandpa, can I have one? He's like, you're not going to want this. I was like, yeah, I want one. Thinking, oh, this is going to be sweet as hell. It's like, I'm telling you, son, you ain't going to want this. I was like, yeah, I want it. He gave me one, and oh my God, I've never ate another one in my life. I was probably 6 when this happened, and I can still remember how sour, nasty tasting those fucks were. Are disgusting, and he ate them like candy. People are weird. Okay, I have filled an entire fucking item barrel, which, by the way, on behalf of Shadow and myself, fuck you for calling these item storages. You know how hard it is for us to find this shit in NEI and JI or EMI or EIEI fucking O? We're used to them being called item barrels. It's a pain in the ass. Shadow was trying to look them up the other day, and he said, they don't fucking exist. I can't find them. There's no item barrel, nothing. I was like, yeah, because Trends is an asshole. It's not my fault. Trends is an asshole, and change the fucking name of them. Look up storage. I think they'll be found under that. And he's like, oh, they're called item storage instead of an item barrel. I know. Trust me. I know. He's an asshole. Pisses me off. I'm not going to get enough out of here, am I? I need more tape. 3792. I think I've got, yeah. I got it low enough. Alright, let's head the fuck home. Is just a space ball, you mean spice? She did say spice ball. Got space balls on the brain. Spice ball that you throw crock pot with the roast. Yeah, it's fucking nasty. And your roast tastes like shit. I must be one of those weird people that like the taste of meat. I am a meat eater. I'm a fucking carnivore. I love the taste of meat. I don't need to put 60 fucking other things in with the meat to make the meat taste different. Because I enjoy the taste of the fucking meat. I want to taste the meat. Not all this weird fucking shit you psychos put in with it to fuck it up. I swear you just go around digging weird shit up out of the ground and go, I wonder if I could boil this and get some flavor off of it. Fucking psychos. Stop boiling weird shit. I'm so glad Crazy's husband's never gone fishing and brought her home with shoey fucking fished up, because she'd fucking want to boil that sumbitch, try and get a little flavor out of it too. Fucking weirdos. And me and Junior have to have a talk about crock pots, because him and I had a talk about crock pots, and I think he took my objection to what he was talking about crock pots different than my full feeling on crock pots, because him and Shadow were talking the other day, and he said, no, Dad said no making fucking dump meals in a fucking crock pot. He'd kick my ass. And there's a difference between making like pulled pork for like putting like a roast in a crock pot and making like and mixing in some manwich and making pulled pork sandwiches and shit like that than what he was talking about, which was the Betty Crocker fucking dump meal shit from way back in the fucking 70s and 80s, where you dump just a bunch of shit in a fucking crock pot rather than, you know, using a crock pot as it was intended to be used. I don't mind that. Just that fucking dump meal shit. Fucking lazy. That just gave housewives more time to fuck around instead of doing their damn jobs and making fucking dinner. Just a lie. Yeah, I don't mind slow cooking for that kind of shit. Also, fucking trends. Can we have another discussion over fucking this dust shit? The basalt dust I don't have an issue with, because we can use this shit for, we can centrifuge it to get calcite, flint dust, dark ash, olivine. I have plenty I can use this shit for. But we have so many other stone dusts that we can't use for jack shit. We either need a way, and I don't know that it makes sense, that we can melt this shit into molten stone, which there is such a thing. That's what magma is molten stone, and then casting it back into a fucking block or something, an extruder with a block shape where we can turn it into a fucking block, extruder with a plate shape so we can make it into covers so we don't have to use a block. There needs to be some use for this dust shit. We also need to look at like schist and some of the other ones that are just fucking silicon dioxide as being able to centrifuge or electrolyze them to get silicon dioxide out of them, because that's what most of them are at the core, is silicon dioxide.
Mm-hmm.
We need some way of getting rid of this shit, because we get so much of this shit that is fucking useless. And I would really like to be able to turn it back into a block in some way so we could build with it if we wanted to. Even if we did one dust from an ore, has to be put with 8 other ones because you need 9 of them to make a block. At least then we could get rid of most of the stone dust shit we have. But we need to look at more of them, like, you know, let's go search and see what fucking schist has. This is something Greg never did, so we can't. Stone, schist stone, made of, because I'm an idiot and I can't think of words. Schist is quartz and feldspar. It's a medium-grained metamorphic rock generally derived from fine-grained sedimentary rock like shale. It shows pronounced schisticity. What the fuck? Okay, we gotta turn on the fucking dark reader thing for one because this is way too fucking white and way too bright on my face. Okay, now let's switch this over to desktop view. This is seriously a fucking word. Schist acidity, named for the rock. This means that the rock is composed of mineral grains easily seen with a low power hand lens orientated in such way that the rock is easily split into thin flakes or plates. So schist is related to, you know, shale. It did say that earlier because shale is the same way. That's what we use for skipping rocks back home because the river ran right through a thing of shale. This texture reflects a high content of platy minerals such as mica, talc, clone. How the fuck do you say that? It says chlorite group. Huh? There's no. It's ONTE. How do you pronounce NTE? Is that fucking blind, asshole? Hold on. Fuck did that bitch go? Oh, it is RITE. Fuck you, Trends, you good seeing prick. With my eyes, I swore that was an N. I hate I next to fucking R because I can't fucking see, or R next to I because I always think it's an N. So it's chlorite or graphite. These are often interleaved with more granular minerals such as feldspar or quartz. Definition, formation. So we'd have to look up and see, like, what makes there's the green schist. That's green schist right there. I don't know what the fucking blue schist is, but there's a black version. So we'd have to look up and see what gives the green schist its green color, but there's, you know, I'm assuming talc is part of the green because talc is kind of greenish in color. But there's kind of the stuff we could put into schist that you could get out of it, which mica is, crap. It's just more shit you can break down into, well, more useless shit. But we need to look into, those, which I'll do sometime and see what kind of shit I can get you. I was trying to get Dan to do it, but that lazy motherfucker don't do shit. Because, oh, my fucking hips broke. Well, motherfucker, it means you're sitting on your ass a lot. Get to work. I don't know how the hell he sits on his ass and his hips fucking broke. Or whatever the fuck's wrong with his hip. Something's wrong with his fucking hip. It still means the motherfucker's being lazy. Hey, look, we almost have a multi-block. Coils, we're using for this, so we're going to go ahead and make nichrome for it now, or are we going to go ahead and upgrade it? I would say we'd probably upgrade it. Because we need to upgrade this other one too. We can make Kanthal. We could actually, what we should probably do, to be honest, tomorrow, because it's after 9 now, is make a set of Kanthal for this blast furnace. And then make a set of nichrome for this blast furnace. And then use but we need a cooler, don't we? Nichrome need a cooler? Nichrome needs a cooler. We gotta put a vacuum freezer together before we can make the nichrome. Fuck. So we wouldn't be able to get that done. Kanthal does not. No, Kanthal needs vacuum cooler, vacuum freezer too. Fuck me. I don't think we have enough aluminum to throw one of those together. I haven't finished automating that yet. We do have tons of alumina. So it's just a matter of getting the carbon containing shit in there, which is just going to be charcoal dust. Let me get that started. That'll get us a little bit. I did make us some charcoal. And just give me both of these. We're getting to the point where you aren't able to use charcoal dust anymore. You need actual carbon. Luckily, this shit makes super quick. So we can throw that in there and get that making some more aluminum. I know we need a fuck ton of aluminum though. So I may need to put a little time and effort into automating. You made this for steel, right? No, you didn't make this for steel. I made this for steel and forgot it the other day. That's another thing we need to start doing once we start automating this shit, this ore processing line, is start breaking down all this dark ash and get the fucking carbon out of it. So we have carbon for circuits and shit. What did I need for red? Crystal. There. This. energy crystal. What the fuck do I need for this? I literally just need a mixer if I want to automate it, and I need rubies. So the only thing really holding me back from making us a bunch of energy crystals is fucking ruby dust. And we have one exquisite ruby, we have one regular ruby, and we have one ruby dust and some chipped. So we don't have much ruby. Did I find a fucking ruby vein? Yeah, there's rubies right there. It's a little far away, but there is rubies listed right there. So there's a ruby sapphire right there, 400 blocks away. So I need to go get to mining some of that so we can start making some fucking energy crystals so we can store more than one fucking battery. Though I did just bring us home how much fucking clay we can start electrolyzing. 1,700 balls. We can start breaking that down and making more large batteries as well, which I need to make a medium battery that is lithium, since my fucking battery is dry as fuck. So is my drill, so let's get those charging. So yeah, he's got everything done for this, but the power and the muffler and the coil, so we can get that put together. And he's got the buffer.
By the way, about the coils, they just recycle them afterwards.
We can, but why make copper nickel when we can make Canthal? It's just a matter of putting that vacuum freezer together. It's just getting a bunch of aluminum. And we need the vacuum freezer anyways. So we just need to get that done. And the only thing holding us up on getting that done is time and carbon, to be honest. I can run a fucking pipe from here over and into this electrolyzer. It'll suck the way I'm gonna have to fucking route it because of the output for the fucking water from the dehydrator, but it's not undoable. It's gonna be above my head, so that's not completely impossible. For right now, I can even just grab the damn barrel and sit it on top of the electrolyzer. And since aluminum is the only thing that comes out of this, we've got 6 storage spaces there to put it. We could move the polarizer up one or something, and I just threw this here to be out of the way. We can put it there. Oh, that's the issue. Never mind. We got to get the carbon dioxide out of this. Yeah, it stopped because it can't hold any more carbon dioxide. We got to get that out of there, which we need to run it through. We need to electrolyze it, but we could also do multiple other things with it. But we might as well just electrolyze it. We just need to get it into an MV electrolyzer, and then we can get the carbon back out of it and get the oxygen back out of it. We need to get the fluorine mixed back into hydrogen fluoride, so we have it for making that other shit. We have a lot of shit we need to get done. But yes, if we needed to, we could make the copper nickel, because we're probably going to end up doing that. as much as I hate it, and then recycle that later.
Yeah, otherwise you would have to just let the furnace run for like overnight.
Which isn't
or longer.
impossible. Since we've got the power automated, it's not. And yeah, this is a fucking hopper, dude. For some reason, we did this with a hopper that we really didn't need to do. So we can just turn that direction. We can pop this off of here. Well, actually, no, we don't. We don't want to do that. There it is. Put this back on here. And we wrench that out of there. You hold on to that. And I make a thing of glue. Or a thing of tape. Take these out of here, and I need a thingy, right? 3. I need one of these set to 3. Put that in there, make me a new thing of tape. And now we take this up. And we stick this up here. And we get another barrel. And we put it right there. And then do that. And we just let that bitch run all night. And then by the time we get back on here tomorrow, that should be done. And if it's... I can come back and check on it later. Much later, because it's, 5,000 of fucking things. Oh, did you already do the marble? I was going to say I could come back on and do the marble later, but you already did the marbles, so never mind. Yeah, we can just let this run, and then we can hold off on that and focus on getting the aluminum automated a little bit better. Make the electrolyzer for the carbon dioxide. Maybe make a tank for the carbon dioxide so we have a place to store up a fuck ton of it until it can get electrolyzed, because if I remember correctly, carbon dioxide takes fucking forever to electrolyze. It's 300 ticks it takes to do that, where I would much rather do the carbon reactor recipe, mixing it with hydrogen and making fucking methanol out of it and use it for fucking power, than I would centrifuging it, wasting all that power. It may take 24,000 EU to make that methanol, but it makes 2 buckets of fucking methanol, which is 1 liter, so 84,000 per bucket. That's a lot of fucking power we could pull out of our waste CO2 if we just mix it with fucking hydrogen. And we should have plenty of things that give off hydrogen we can mix that with. Once we figure out what we're doing with it. Because I know we're going to be making hydrogen from, we're going to need this for other things, but we can get it from brown limonite, yellow limonite, centrifuging both of those. We get hydrogen from distilling wood gas. Once we start making wood gas, we get it as a byproduct from doing most of the vitriol shit. So we could literally use the vitriol shit and the aluminum processing to make fuel. Just mix the fucking hydrogen and carbon dioxide together and turn that into fucking power. Neither of those we're going to be doing. We could do water, but that's really slow to get done. Talc also gives silicon, manganese, and hydrogen. And we need manganese for, well, at least a little bit of it for our titanium. We don't need that much of it. But we always need fucking silicon. Potassium bisulfate, will eventually be making that. Salt water gives us sodium hydroxide, which we're going to be needing that. We could also set up making that, which is way quicker. It's only 720 ticks instead of 2000. And then that gives us chlorine and hydrogen. And we need chlorine for titanium, so, and we need sodium hydroxide for a bunch of other things. These we won't be electrolyzing down. Bentonite isn't a bad way of getting some as well. Gives 3 buckets of it, along with some sodium, magnesium, and silicon, and we'll go mining that shit. We'll get tons of it. Malachite also gives us hydrogen. So a limonite vein will give us mostly shit that gives us hydrogen. I don't want to process the malachite yet because I want to use the vitriol shit to process it. Those we won't be getting rid of. That we won't be getting rid of. That I don't even know we're going to be making. Those we're not doing. Eventually we'll be doing that, but that'll be way in the future. That's not anything we're doing anytime fucking soon. Soapstone is another useless thing that gives silicon and shit if we don't just want to use rocks, which I'm perfectly fine with just using the rocks. Eventually we'll be setting up making this, which also gives hydrogen. I remember in the last one we had so much hydrogen we didn't know what to do with it. We had a huge fucking tank of that shit, so I think this is a much better idea. Using it to make a fucking fuel we can burn off than trying to just break those both down to, well, breaking down the carbon dioxide. So we need to keep that in mind, that that's one thing we're going to do with that. So I'll probably just make a tank for the carbon dioxide and the fluorine. We've got the ability to make fucking iron and nickel way easier now. So I may go do some more. Well, we're going to get this ore processing shit at least semi set up and automated. And then I may go get some more magnetite and hematite so we can get some more iron, make a tank for fluorine, make a tank for carbon dioxide so we can get the aluminum going, so we can make the fucking vacuum freezer That gives me something to keep me busy while you're getting the upper floors done. I can work on the automating of the ore processing line, which is going to be done up there. I'm pretty sure we could do it down here on this side of the factory, but I really like the idea of having its own floor because of the multi-blocks we're going to have at the end. So I can work on the aluminum stuff to get the vacuum freezer done. I don't think I'm going to need the ore processing yet. Let you get most of that building shit done, and then I can start the ore processing up there. I can also start working on making a distillation tower as well, because I'm going to put that in the fucking basement. We're going to put the oil shit down here somewhere. Probably over here. Probably put some kind of wall in here for her organizing shit and just cut that out. So I think I'll work on the basement some tomorrow while you're working on that, so we can get oil processing started, so we can stop with the stop relying on that for plastic. I think that's a good idea.
I mean, there's a building gadgets so I can more easily build the walls and stuff.
Oh yeah, you'll be able to build that shit quick with that. Plus, have you tried charging one of those yet?
Yeah, it worked.
Okay, good. So
I actually got an issue where it can actually be used as a regular battery. Which is a problem.
That's weird. Yeah. Definitely need to fix that. Alright, so we're gonna get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna go hurt till this fucking storm gets done. We'll be back tomorrow to work on that. And if I stop hurting enough later, I may come on here and start digging out the fucking basement some more. We'll see. I'm not expecting it to give up until these storms get through, so we'll see. But maybe. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow.